Chamisa is addressing the media.
This is either our team or myself at a political level. So this meeting is basically as a conference to articulate our perspective on the preparedness for the election. And I'm going to ask my technical team to walk you through on some of the issues that we feel are very important and consequential to the holding of an election that will produce an outcome that is credible. So I will ask Advocate Mpofu to kick in on the issues that are supposed to be articulated. I've just been informed that President Mugabe had, former President Mugabe had a press conference. That's not the purpose of this conference. We are not going to go into that. That is his press conference. I'm sure you have questions for him. We are going to focus more on the elections, because that is the focus we have. Over to you, Advocate.
Good afternoon, everyone. Let me make this clear from the onset. There are a number of issues of a technical nature, as the President has said, which we wish to address. This is not a political event. This is not a campaign. This is the perfection, the final stretch in the execution of the anti-rigging mechanism strategy. So there are a number of issues that we'd like to address for the benefit of all Zimbabweans, and also so that there is a proper process come 7 a.m. tomorrow. There is a proper process which will close at 7 p.m. There is a proper process after 7 p.m. leading to the counting of votes. There is a proper process leading to the declaration of the winner of the election. The first thing that we like to address is the question of the voters' roll. As of now, the ZEC has still not made available the final voters' roll. And you know that is in breach of the law. And you know that the purpose is to subvert the will of the people. But we are actively engaging ZEC on the issue, and that issue is going to be resolved. So Zimbabweans, be assured that that issue is going to be resolved. The second issue that we'd like to deal with concerns the issue of the pens to be used during the voting process. In terms of the law, the ZEC has a mandate or is entitled to make pens available, but the voter is not obliged to use the pen so made available. So people are free wherever possible, and we are advising voters to bring their pens. The second issue is that there are reports that have been received concerning the paper itself. Everyone is advised to check every ballot paper for authenticity. If there is something suspicious, particularly the presidential ballot paper, if there is something suspicious, if there is a watermark, that is not a proper ballot paper, it will have to be returned. And the prospective voter would have to receive another one. So look at number 15. If there's a watermark there showing a hidden X, return that ballot paper. You cannot exercise your rights in terms of that ballot paper. The next issue that we'd like to deal with concerns the issue of certain bad practices, certain electoral malpractices going on. Everyone is urged and encouraged to be vigilant. And there are so many ways in which that vigilance is going to be demonstrated. Number one, we would have Zimbabweans know that by law they are entitled to use their cell phones to take photos outside the polling station itself. So, if you are using a classroom or a tent, what you cannot do is to take photos inside that classroom or the tent. But you are free to take photos outside. You are free to record malpractices outside, even within the 300-meter radius. We urge Zimbabweans, once the polling officers have put the results on the notice board, which they are obliged to do by law, to immediately take photos of those and distribute in the manner that I'm going to indicate. Take videos, the malpractices. Let all that be dealt with. We become aware, particularly in the rural areas, that headmen and chiefs are being commandeered to commandeer people. Would have people understand this, that this is the last time that that kind of malpractice is going to happen. So we ask of two things. Number one, that those incidences be recorded. Number two, that any victim of that kind of malpractice must say in their hearts, as they utter a prayer, this is the last time that you are going to force me. After my vote is cast, you will not have any other opportunity to repeat this. The next aspect that I would like to deal with in terms of voter vigilance, in terms of the protection of the votes that is going to be cast, is this. In terms of the law, people are allowed to have gatherings of no more than 12 people within the 300 meters, within the vicinity of the polling station. The law does not put an upper cap on the number of those gatherings. So people are free to have those gatherings as long as they do not exceed the number 12. Because after voting, people are urged to remain at the police station, at the polling station, to ensure that the votes that they have cast is actually given effect. The next issue that I deal with relates to certain hotlines that we now have. And details of those hotlines are going to be given. Hotlines to report malpractices, hotlines to deal with any attempt to rig. Then there's also the volunteer hotline for people who want to assist to ensure that the efficacy of the votes cast is protected. So I'm going to give those hotlines at the end. Next issue that I would like to deal with is the ballot swap and the ballot stuffing phenomenon. We have it on good authority that there are certain polling stations that have been earmarked for purposes of vote swapping. And so this is how, for purposes of ballot swapping, and so this is how ballot swapping occurs. After people have voted, there are certain ballot boxes which contain pre-voted ballot papers, which some bad apples are going to try and sneak into the polling station. People are to be vigilant and ensure that that does not happen. On ballot stuffing, everyone needs to be vigilant and ensure that a person does not cast more than one vote into the ballot box. Also address the issue of the ballot papers that have been seen. You've seen so many images, you've heard so many stories. There are people who have access to ballot papers. You've heard that there are some that are being moved today. There are issues in Gokwe where you have a discrepancy of around about 1.2 million on the serial numbers. All those issues have now come to our attention, and the evil that was sought to be achieved by the use of those substitute ballot papers is something that has now been dealt with, and it is going to be nipped in the bud. So that is an issue that has already been taken up, but would have the voter to understand this, that the processes of ballot swapping can only take place if there are no eyes to watch. But we wish to assure you that there are plus 44,000 agents who are going to be deployed to all the polling stations concerned. So in addition to the 44,000, all the voters who are going to remain in groups of 12, all the voters who are going to gather outside the 300-meter radius are going to come in handy in ensuring that there is no foreign material that comes into the ballot box. And we also wish to appeal to those who have been paid to read. Graze the money, eat it, but do not be involved in any malpractice. And this is the last time that this kind of issue is going to happen. Ladies and gentlemen, I now wish to just set out the hotlines that are going to be used for purposes of these mechanisms. And as I set them out, I wish to assure you that there are many other confidential mechanisms which are not at large at this stage to share, but which are being implemented, and we have all the information that we require to ensure that the integrity and the sanctity of the vote is protected. So allow me now to set out the hotlines. 0778 371 424. I take that again. 0778 371 424. The other number 0773 010 749. I take that again. 0773 010 749. Then 0773 010 739. 0773 010 739. The fourth 0772 364 133. 0772 364 133. The fifth 0773 013 734. 0773 013 734. And the sixth 0773 010 662. 0773 010 662. The eighth, the seventh 0773 205 264. 0773 205 264. Now our plea is that may this be broadcast to as wide an audience as is possible. It is everyone's civic duty to protect a democratic process. It is everyone's civic duty to protect a constitutional process. It is everyone's civic duty to protect their votes once cast. And we will have all the assistance that we require from the men above, because God is in it.
Thank you very much, Advocate Tabangi Mpofu. Just want to say that it has come to our attention that there is a lot of false news making the rounds. In fact, as far as we are concerned, we have discovered that some of the information that has been making the rounds is actually alarmist and in some cases not accurate. And this is why we have said these numbers are very important as an indication of our pursuit of the veracity of whatever is obtained from the various places. So, yes, I know that specimen ballots were taken by ZANU-PF members of parliament. They actually used the specimen ballots by printing them and photocopying them. They wanted to go and take them to the people so that they indicate where they must be voting. As you know, they always commandeer people. They believe in command elections. So they want to command people into some kind of a voting. But we have also detected that, and we are dealing with that matter in a very thorough manner and comprehensive manner. I must also indicate that we are aware, in fact it has been brought to my attention, that ZANU-PF hired some foreigners. I'm at liberty to disclose them at some particular point in time. They were at Mount Pleasant, they were then moved to Bromley, and these foreigners are actually fake news mercenaries. So their duty is to concoct, manufacture, engineer, and produce fictitious and fallacious videos, news stories, and then send them out to you, send them out to the world to confuse the voters, to cause despondence, alarm, and also dissatisfaction. So you must be on the watch out about this phenomenon. We know that they are doing it, and we're going to give further details, which is also a very big issue. I warned ZANU-PF earlier on to say it's not proper in terms of the law to use foreigners to interfere with our own electoral processes. So we are going to take it to the logical conclusion, and we have the names of those people from those countries, those foreign nationals, what they are doing in terms of the technical work, computer work, and we are going to, at the appropriate time, review the details. I also want to say, last but not least, is a very important issue of the victory that is so secured. In fact, I've seen that across the whole country, there's a frenzy, there's ecstasy. People are excited. The momentum is huge. Victory is certain. There's nothing that will stop the people of Zimbabwe from claiming their victory. And that's why we are pulling all the stops, leaving no stone unturned and leaving no turn unstoned to make sure that we win this election. This is the people's election. We will not allow any funny tricks from ZANU-PF or from any of their agents, because we have won this election, because the people have spoken. And what we are simply going to do here tomorrow is a confirmation. You saw yesterday the rallies that we had. Our colleagues in ZANU-PF had to invite people from the rural areas, almost hiring over 400 buses and lorries to try and fill up the stadium. They couldn't, because they don't have the people. You know, now when you can't manage to occupy a stadium, how do you manage to occupy the stadiums? When you can't manage to fill up a stadium, why do you want to go and occupy the seat of authority and the mandate of the people? You don't have that mandate. So please step aside, Mr. Mnangagwa. Allow the people. We thank you for the 7 months of your duty, but thank you this time, no further. We will not allow a repeat of 2018. And this is why we've told all our people, be ready to defend your vote. Be ready to protect your vote. Be ready to secure your voice. And more importantly, God is in it. So thank you very much. I don't know if you have any questions so that we respond to them. And I want to appreciate your patience. We know that we started late. But thank you very much so far. I've had occasion to watch some of the news clips. I'm impressed by the coverage. You know, this is what we are deprived here with our own local television station. They always want to go off tangent and report on your behalf. Your lips are the ones that will be moving, but you will never be allowed to say what you have to say, which is a problem. But I've seen SABC, CNN, Al Jazeera. You guys have done well. You know, CNN, I've seen your coverage. Fantastic coverage. That's what we want for our world. Just inform the world. Thank you very much.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can I have 3 questions at a time, and then the President will respond? Yes? Anybody else?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, over there. The third one, and over there. Thank you. In that
Good
order.
afternoon, everyone. My name is Griselda Lewis from SABC Television. Mr. Chamisa, I know you said that you will not be taking any questions, but we have to ask as part of our job to do so.
Very well.
Yes.
Very well.
Mr. Chamisa, what do you make of former President Robert Mugabe's announcement that he will not be voting for ZANU-PF in tomorrow's election? Secondly, he says that he has not met you, but he has sort of congratulated you on the work that you have been doing.
Oh, thank you very much. I've not seen that congratulation.
Well, he says he'd love to meet you if you do win. Do you plan in the next couple of hours on meeting him? He says he's not met you. Will you meet him before the election? Have you made plans to meet him after tomorrow's election?
I'm going to meet every citizen at my inauguration. Mr. Mugabe, if he is able to come to the inauguration, that would be good news. You see, there's this misconception, and I must clear it once and for all. There is no role for Grace Mugabe in my government. I've seen this. This is desperation by ZANU-PF, who have their own issues with the Mugabes, and they want to try and export their own troubles and worries. Please leave me alone, Mr. Mnangagwa and your ZANU-PF people. Deal with your old man. You know, you have disappointed him. He's so disappointed. Please make your ways, make your amends with him. I have nothing to do with what President Mugabe would want to say as a voter. He's a citizen. It is not my duty as a candidate to go and choose voters. We are not going to this election to choose voters as candidates. We are going to be chosen. So if somebody says they are likely to have a favorable disposition in my favor, who am I to deny that extra vote that will make the fundamental win that we want? Who am I? The more the merrier. You don't choose, you don't discriminate against voters.
Thank you.
Mr. Valdez from MDC. Mugabe has told my colleague Fable Keane that he in effect supports your candidacy. Do you welcome this endorsement from Robert Mugabe?
Even if you were to tell me that you support me, even if you are not a voters for, I welcome you. Because I need every supporter at this particular moment. This is a crucial election. This is a do or die. It's not about the past. It's about the future. It's not about Mr. Mugabe. It's not on the ballot. It's about this candidate appealing to all the citizens to have a vote. If anything, my biggest task is to make sure that I unite this nation going forward. I must not be gazing into the past. I must not be looking at the past. Only to the extent that we are able to have remedial and corrective measures, then we're supposed to look at the past. But going forward, I'm not going to waste my time going into the internal fights within ZANU-PF. There's loss of trust in ZANU-PF. There's loss of trust in ED. There's unhappiness with ED in his party. But look, I have my party to take care of. I have a country to take care of. And that should be my focus. I'm not interested to be distracted. Mr. Mugabe's wishes are his wishes. They have to be respected. But as for me, I am going to accept any voter with open hands and an open heart, but with a clear mind and a very circumspect conscience.
There was someone here. Yes?
Yeah, afternoon. I'm Shobeku from NHK, Japan's public broadcaster.
Thank you, Sean.
I would like to rather ask questions about more international relations and diplomacy.
Sure.
We know that during Mugabe's time, the country was very close to Beijing, China.
Sure.
And rather going away from countries like Japan and other Western countries. With your presidency, how would you like to reshape your relations with Beijing, and how do you want to restart connections with other countries?
Thank you very much. We're very clear on that one. Whereas ZANU-PF would insist on looking east, we are going to look everywhere, motivated and inspired by the desire to make sure that the flag follows trade, that economics plays a supremacy role ahead of politics, that rhetoric is put on the back burner, but what we are putting on the platform of priority and preponderance is to make sure that there's diplomacy, mending, band bridges with any country across the whole world. In fact, we have said we are looking everywhere. We shall neither look east nor west, we shall look everywhere, but more importantly, looking up to God for inspiration and direction. So we're very clear. As regards any deals, any investments that have been done, we've said that we're going to have an audit of those deals to make sure that they are actually to the best interest of this country and also the best interest of the investors. We do acknowledge that there are certain deals that did not go through Parliament. We need accountability in terms of the laws of the country, and that will be done without fear or favor, but also with the grace and charity of making sure that we don't infuriate our investors, be they in Beijing, Washington, or London. We shall respect investors, because Zimbabwe, from now going forward, is secure for investment and, of course, best for business. Unlike Mr. Mnangagwa, who is open for business, we are not going to be open for looting. We are not going to be open for anything. We are going to be secure and best for business, protecting ease of doing business, property rights, security of your property, and the happiness as an investor. That's the direction. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I hope I've answered you.
Thank you very much.
Because I can see that the silence confirms the happiness.
You didn't mention Tokyo, though.
Sorry?
You didn't mention Tokyo, though.
Oh, Tokyo. Yes. Oh, I must mention Tokyo.
One question here, and at the back there.
No.
And here.
I know what I mean.
All right, thank you. My name is Chawanda Ndau. I'm a freelance journalist. My question is, so far you seem very confident of election victory tomorrow. You said you'll leave no stone unturned and no corner unstilled. Now, my simple question is, will the MDC Alliance accept an election outcome which has President Emerson Mnangagwa as the victor?
Any outcome that will have Mnangagwa as a victor is not an election but fiction. I've said this, I will say it again, I will say it again and again. We are very clear of the will of the people. It's not as if an election is going to be conducted on planet Mars or in heaven. It's an earthly election in Zimbabwe. We are Zimbabweans. We know what the people want. The people have spoken. What we are only doing tomorrow is to confirm the will of the people and to emphasize the mandate of the people. So any skullduggery, shenanigans, manipulation, corruption of the election is not going to be accepted by this candidate. And I've said this to Mr. Mnangagwa. That's why I've said, please, let's meet, let's talk, so that it takes two to tango. Let's agree on the way forward. Nation building requires all the hands, but he has been running away from me. And now he can't run away. We are meeting on the ballots, unfortunately. Okay, I'll take one last question, because I know that we can spend the whole day here, but thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. President. My name is Shanae. I wanted to ask...
Sorry, the name?
Shanae.
Shanae,
Yes.
thank you.
My question is, have you not underestimated Mr. Mnangagwa?
In fact, he has been overestimated by many people. I've estimated him accurately, and he will not win this election. Thank you. Well, I thought I said one more.
There was a gentleman at the back, yeah?
Then, if you say any election that President Mnangagwa is winner of fiction, would you then say this is basically a selection rather than an election?
Well, I'm not you're a journalist, you are a master in semantics. I'm just a candidate. My focus is to win the election. What you call it, I don't know.
You said it's a confirmation of the people's view.
Yes, it is. That's why, that is the purpose of election, Mr. Chisholm. You go to elections to either invalidate or validate the will of the people. And I'm saying that we've already seen, you know it very well.
And there are 23 of you, right?
3 of us, we have.
23 candidates for the president.
I've only seen one. And that is Mnangagwa. I've not seen others. If they are also part of the election, I think they are better off supporting this side than the other side. Thank you very much. God bless you.
How are you?
MDC Alliance leader Nelson Chamisa briefing the media there ahead of the historic vote. He seems very confident. He says that Emmerson Mnangagwa has been overestimated, that's the word he uses, and he will not win this election. He says it's a matter of formality. That's what's going to happen tomorrow. The MDC, as far as he's concerned, has won. Let's get reaction from the streets of Harare. That's where we find ENCA Now anchor Thulasizwe Simelane. Thulas, of course, we've heard from two powerful figures